My name is Abena Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmas, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pokonjre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of On Point from our mother station, Focus on Liberia. We have a great show for you, great panelists. The best minds in Liberia are here to discuss the election and the process. We remind you, we are not here to predict. We are not here to call. We are here to predict or maybe discuss the process. But before we do that, we're going to break our shows into three parts today. First, we are going to pay tribute to our sister, our dedicated member, watcher, commenter, Miss Seattle, the late Seattle Townsend. This young, brilliant woman lost her life suddenly over the weekend, and we are all in shock. And I'm going to turn that part over later on to Mr. Padmo, who personally knew her, to pay tribute to her. We are mourning here. It's a great loss. And then the second segment of our show, we'll go to our sister Lloyd. You remember the tragic story of a young lady that almost got beheaded in Monrovia by her friend, a missionary, a white guy that went to Liberia, met this young woman. Whatever happened, he almost killed her, almost decapitated her. The family is here, represented by Councillor George Johnson will be here, who knows the entire story, what is going on, what is transpiring. We'll update her on her health, her state of being. And there's a major fundraiser coming up next week in Iowa. And we want to appeal to all of our friends and families and all peace-loving Liberians and friends of Liberia to coalesce around this particular cause. Let's raise some serious funds for her. And let the goodwill of our people prevail here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce each and every one of you. My co-partner here, Mr. Padmo, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jerome. It's good to be here. It's a good, bright, sunny Sunday after 3 years of rain. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy.
I'll give him a shout out.
Our country remains peaceful.
Yeah, Councilor, just a turn.
And Elvis, if you don't stop it. All right, I'm happy that in the midst of election heat, our country remains peaceful, and hopefully, we can continue that process till we meet what the final count is. But I'm happy to be here. For all that we have to discuss today. Great.
Yeah, your audio is very low. You would need some volume. Mr.
Okay.
Kamara, thank you very much for coming in. We got three great topics today. You know, a tragedy all around when a young woman, a young human being, a young person lost their life suddenly. And we are here to talk about it. Then we'll talk about the fundraiser. Let me unmute you here. Mr. Kamara, let me see here. Go ahead, Mr. Kamara.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. Don't mind, Dennis. There's no problem from my end. First of all, let me say, Miss Siata Thompson, you know, I'd never met her in person. And I was really, really shocked. I want to extend my condolences to the family of Siata. Unfortunately, this is the world we're living in. You just never know when, you know. You can have a child instead of child burying you. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to bury the child. But thank you for having me. And I want to say to the family of I just keep forgetting her name, the lady who,
yeah, Miss Lloyd.
Miss Lloyd. That story that story really touched me as a father. I don't know how old she is. Maybe she's a younger sister or a daughter kind. But that story really hit me, and I would like to really understand firsthand from you guys as we go on, as per what really transpired. Because for me, I believe in justice. For me, I'm Moses.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gay. Same for you here.
Yeah,
Mute Mr. Kamara again, please.
Mm-hmm.
Can everybody mute, please? I'm getting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone. I am very, shocked, and I don't know how to call it. There's no activity of ANC or ANC Global or CPP that will be happening. And once Siada knows about it, she will tag me. Sometimes she will come in my inbox. Anthony, not coming on the show. Things of that nature. It is just so heartbreaking. I mean, I inbox Ben Jonah yesterday. I said, "My man, they think you tell me it's a joke, man." So he didn't even respond, and I kept seeing a lot of different posts, about her yesterday, and I was like, "Wow!" So I really have to believe this thing. I never, she and I met briefly at the convention in Maryland, but we continue to be on the show every time there is a something about ANC or CPP. She will always tag me and we'll chat. I mean, that was just so heartbreaking. Up to this point, I have not recovered, from what happened to her. I don't know what really happened. I just heard that news. I never heard that she was sick or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to process out of it. It's not easy task.
Great. Kalebo, we are talking about a young life. This lady was vibrant, active. She follows us on all of our shows. She commented, we comment back to her. And all of a sudden, Friday, I woke up to the news. Mr. Padmo posted that it was a joke. And then later on, got to find out that Siata Thompson is no more. This young, brilliant woman just died on Friday.
The thing about life, life is so, sometimes it's very sorrowful that we have to do this. We have to experience death in the way and manner we do almost every second. But like others have said, I didn't know her, but she was active. She was politically active because I came across her name in different chat rooms. Okay. And I think, if I'm not making mistake, she might have been part of ANC USA when Kwame, how do you call him? Pastor was the chair. I think she might have been part of ANC USA because I used to be in that chat room myself. So it's a loss to our nation because these professionals, the country needs them. Never mind whatever the country is going through now or has been going through for the past 18 years. Under the Unity Party corruption and the current regime. I mean, we need these people beyond the 18 years to actually help to reset the country. So it's a sad thing that, and for me, it hits me sometimes when I see Liberians lose their life abroad, because it's back home where your loved ones are. So even on your last moment, they feel that touch of touching you, to see you depart. But when it happens in foreign land, it's like we are left alone. I mean, I've personally experienced when my brother lost his wife in this country, and I mean, it hit me. I mean, I was in the hospital when she passed away, right in my hand, and I was like, I couldn't imagine that it was happening to us in the U.S., and not back home. I mean, as painful as it was, but it's happening in a faraway land, and it's sad, really.
Thank you very much. Elvis, I'm going to go to you last because we have our guest here. I'll have George Johnson come in. George, death is, we all come to these foreign lands. We want to better ourselves. Our goal is to be better than our parents. Obviously, we want to outlive, we want to live longer than our parents. And then when these things happen, just a few weeks ago, we were joking each other and doing everything about this campaign, who's going to win, who's going to lose. Then everything came down peacefully, and we are about to celebrate whoever wins. And all of a sudden, the young lady just left us.
Yeah, I mean, as has been said, this is very tragic. I didn't know Ms. Thompson, but certainly my heart goes out to her family and the rest of the people that she leaves behind. Yeah, it's very sad, very tragic. Like you said, we all should outlive our parents. And I don't know if she had children, but usually the hope is that our children would bury us, right? That we would not depart this earth before them. And then lastly, as a believer, every time we're reminded that God is sovereign, that he sets the birth date, he sets the death date, it reminds us to take seriously the Great Commission that has been left here for us. And so indeed, again, my condolences to Ms. Thompson's family and those who were left behind, and those of us who are here. Again, this is another reminder that God is sovereign. He sets the birth and the death date. And so we all need to check ourselves and see how we're living.
Thank you very much. I'm going to give the last word here to Mr. Padmore because this is, his personal friend. Mr. Morris, I mean, you are a young man. I have a daughter. Most likely my daughter is 27 years old, going to be 28. I want to believe that we are in the same age range, or she may be just that beautiful and she's a little young, but nevertheless, she could be your sister, your younger sister, a little older than you. A beautiful life, vibrant, active community-wise. Politically, she was active. She was doing the same thing we were doing to make a change, or possibly change in our country. And she didn't even finish she didn't even see the election.
Yeah. Before I even start, let me just say a big shout out to my uncle, attorney Joseph Gabouy Bernard, who's always watching the show. Just want to acknowledge him. And I think to segue into this statement is that we need to acknowledge our viewers, because people follow this platform, but we want to make them a part of this family on Focus on Liberia. I interacted with her. A lot of people know I'm a prolific commenter and caller on this platform. So when something like that happened to somebody who is, well known within our community here on Focus on Liberia, it could have happened to me or any of our regular viewers. It's a tragic news. We don't know what happened, but our condolences is with the family, and we pray that God will give them peace in this time of bereavement. But my heartfelt sympathy goes out to the family. I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Mr. Padmore, we'll let you close us out here. This is a personal pain for you, a personal friend, somebody that you knew. And it just happened. Our condolences to the family and then to you as our co-host here. I mean, we can't say much. Can you tell us a little bit about this woman?
Well, Seattle Townsend, Seattle was a very passionate Liberian. And I think most of everything else that stood out about her, it was her passion to see a better Liberia. A lot of us, we're much older, and we've been through a lot, and so people understand where our passion comes from. And a lot of times we see our younger people are distracted with life. They're trying to get ahead, establish their careers, so they don't usually dabble into politics and stuff like that. But it was so refreshing to see Seattle just so passionate about Liberia, and so passionate about a better Liberia, a new Liberia, one where we could uplift everybody in Liberia, and we could fight as much as possible to eradicate corruption and poverty. And that was what I believe will always be her legacy, in our circle, just how passionate she was. The last time I talked to her was politics. We talked politics a lot. And, even if you call just to say hello, somehow the conversation would drift to politics. It would drift to, Liberia, and what a better Liberia would would look like. But, my heart goes out to her family, to her young boy, and it's still shocking. It's still shocking, but it's something that we have to accept. We have to, honor her, for who she was, and hopefully that we all continue to get up and work towards a better Liberia. So, people like Seattle who have gone on, at least can be proud of us that we continue to carry on the struggle, carry on the purpose, towards a better Liberia.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor, share this show. Your friends may not be my friends. Let's now segue into, and this is even though bad news, but we are going from death to survival. What a way to segue. We who have been talking about two beautiful women losing their lives. Fortunately for us, this is a story that we are praying will have a happy ending. We are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, but we are talking about a brighter light and a brighter future and the lessons we can learn from this. We have with us, everybody been calling me when you hear the Lloyd's name. We are from Bassett. There are the Bassett people. You're from Lloydville. You're from Lloyd. So we got all the Bassett people here. It may not be, all Lloyds may not be from Bassett. Maybe they're not from Bassett, but we will take it. We claim all of our folks. We have the mother of Miss Lloyd, Cynthia Lloyd, the mother of this young woman. Mother is hurting. Her daughter is still in the hospital. We hear a lot from her. But of all, the leader of the team Lloyd, the team is being headed by George Melvin Johnson, who is going to let out why we are here and what is it we need to do. And who is this Lloyd girl? George Johnson, it's all yours. What is it we need to do? Why are we here?
Amen. Amen. Thank you, brother. Thank you to the staff. Thank you for the opportunity. On behalf of the Lloyd family, thank you. You will hear very shortly from Mother Cynthia Lloyd. I'm sure she will likewise extend thanks and appreciation. We're here because on about September 14th last month, we had a horrific series of events that we all heard about. Thanks again to Mother Cynthia Lloyd. I believe she was the one that first reported the story through the media, and it went out about what one Lucas Richard attempted to do to her very beautiful daughter, Jessica Lloyd. He attempted to murder her. Fortunately, providential intervention, I would say that there were some onlookers who were present that intervened to help to save her life. Long story short, that transpired on the 14th of September, I believe, if I got my date right. The individual, the perpetrator involved, He's been serving in Liberia as a missionary from the United States. And so when the situation transpired, he was taken to the police station. From the information we received, he was taken to the police station. From there, he called his wife to explain to her, I guess, to kind of explain why he wouldn't be home or why he was running late. And in that phone call, he lied and he completely turned the story around, saying he was robbed and so forth and so forth. The wife now called some contacts in America to explain to them that her husband just called her, said he had been robbed, and then those contacts called the church that is in Iowa, the church that sponsors the ministry where the perpetrator, his wife, and many Liberians worked. This ministry has a school, they have a clinic, they have a church that they're sponsoring. And so that information got to the church that's sponsoring the ministry. Relying on that information, these people, they're not Liberians. Relying on that information, they posted on their website requesting prayer for the perpetrator, requesting prayer and sympathy for the perpetrator. Again, merely relying on the lie that was told to the wife, that the wife extended to another individual who extended this to the church. And that posting from the church showed up the next day, the 15th of September. Of course, those of us here in the diaspora, when we were made aware of the posting, we became highly inflamed. We started contacting the church and telling them that this is wrong what they are doing, this, that, and the third. Very long story short, the church, after receiving several phone calls, they decided, why don't we sit down and talk, because we had received this information. Y'all are telling us something else. And so let's sit down and talk. Long story made short, within 4 days, which would now take us to the 19th of September, a meeting was held with the church, and there were a lot of angry Liberians there. And that was when we learned how the church got the information and how they posted as they did. What I just shared with you, the information, the lie came from the perpetrator, Lucas. He told his wife told somebody else, and that somebody else called the church. The church did not investigate. They explained, first they expressed their apologies. They were very contrite about what transpired. They explained that they don't verify requests for prayers. That's something they post weekly for church members that are sick, that are going through surgeries and different life occasions. And so like this prayer request, they merely received the information and posted it. And so they apologized for whatever harm had been caused for the false information. Unfortunately, there were others in the meeting who were very charged. There were others in the meeting who perhaps I would word it as being misled. They started accusing the church of intending to have the perpetrator carry this out in their country, that they believe this is not the first time. There were other dead bodies and all kinds of conspiracy theories they were spewing at the church. And so that meeting fell apart. It turned into chaos, and everybody walked away without a resolution. That was on the 19th. It was actually after that meeting that somebody who attended the meeting several days later called. They actually talked first with my wife, actually. And while discussing the meeting and how everything fell apart, I walked in my home. My wife called me, says, hey, you need to hear this. And so I joined in that conversation. That's when I learned all of the details. I had followed, like most people, what had been posted on the social media about the perpetrator. I had watched Mother Cynthia's video and so forth, but then all of the details as far as the meeting, the falling apart, the chaos, that was when I became privy to it. Very long story short, my lovely wife, myself, the individual, we made some other phone calls to some stakeholders who were in the meeting, and we told them no way should it end that way. There are, number one, Jessica has been victimized. We need to do something. If this church is truly contrite if this church truly was misinformed, it's understandable. Nobody who would attend a church and one of the congregants goes out and robs somebody would say the church should be responsible. And so likewise, this church, assuming what they had said was true, should not be held responsible. And let's get back to the table. Let's see how we can turn this positive thing around. Let's see how we can get the word that Liberians are standing up. So very long story. There was a meeting held on the 27th of September when we pulled the stakeholders together and we went back to the church. They said, sure, if you guys are different than the first group that were accusing and coming with conspiracies and so forth, we've already apologized. We're to make this. So very long story short, that led to an agreement that we would do a praise. We would do and fundraising service for Jessica and those who, any of the victims, anybody for this, by this situation. So long story short, that's kind of how we got to the point of doing the praise service. It'll be held next Sunday, October 22nd, there in Iowa, the very church that was accused that all the conspiracy theories were aimed at. They've agreed to reopen the church after their service on Sunday. They've agreed to provide the food, the drinks, refreshments, and there will be a joint service, God willing, of that congregation as well as the local Liberian population that are there. The different congregations will get together, and as the body of Christ, as brothers and sisters in Christ, we're going to come together in a spirit of reconciliation. We're going to come together in the spirit of triumph, and then we're going to come together in a spirit of generosity to raise funds to see how we can help this situation. By God's grace, I'm stationed in Atlanta, Georgia. Those of you who are in the U.S., you know I'm not even close to Iowa. I will be getting on a flight very shortly, and well, not very shortly, but in a few days towards the weekend to go there to help make sure that everything continues to be in order and that we have a very successful program on Sunday and that we can raise funds again for Jessica and anybody else who has been victimized by this whole ordeal. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how we got to this point.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in the mother here, Sister Cynthia Lloyd. How are you doing? Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
I'm not too good in the body because of what that happened to my daughter, Jessica Lloyd. Yeah, it play on me, and sometimes my heart, my think on it. When it carry her in the yard that day, I saw everyone imagine the day it happened, had to be beating fast. And I would just drink my brother. I just want to give God the glory and tell him thank you for everything, for bringing my daughter back to me alive. Yes, so I want to say thank you to the Liberians in the diaspora, all those who in sympathy with me and my daughter, my family. I want to say thank you. I appreciate all of you so much. While Lucas said will not make me to say I am not a Christian, I will continue to worship God. Because where God took my daughter from, he took her from the grave. Took Jessica from the grave. It was in easy. The first day I saw that thing, it was not easy for me. Small more. It was not for God. And a different thing we're talking about now. I'm a mother of 2 children. Twins. Jesse and Jessica Lloyd. I sailed down water side, short clothes for my children. I put them in Katira when they were 3 years old. K2, K1 in Katira. Jessica graduated from Katira. Jessica, very smart, she and her brother graduated from SCA. When you were in the 10th grade, you started playing, so I sent you to SCA. I separated among the 4 girls who did well in math and English. And I knew me last in America. You appreciated her that time. The records are there. Jessica, from whom I brought my children all in a good way. Although I don't have money, woman, but I try my best with my children and my husband. We did our best. Jessica don't go to NEC club, or Jessica graduated from high school. I decided to send her to the power school on the highway. What? There was EMS. Why me? Why when? Where Jessica and her brother was on Lucas scheme across her. But the call after show the kids already in the hand. Just
good. Ms. Lawyer, your line is breaking up. We just want to know real quick, how is she doing?
Jessica, she tries small. She tries small. At least she talking small with me.
Is she eating?
Yeah, she eating bread, drinking juice.
Okay, soft, something soft. Great.
Yeah, soft diet.
Okay, so we're gonna have people come in, but what we are here for, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, anywhere in that area, Chicago, anywhere in that area, if you are visiting, if you want to go, this is the great time. It's October 22nd. What time and what's the name of the church, sir?
The name of the church is Creekside Church. It'll be on October 22nd from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And as I said, afterwards, there will be refreshments that will be provided also. We will do the fundraising there in person. The church website has created a special tab just for this purpose. Their website is Creekside, CreekSidedem. So Creekside DM for Des Moines, creeksidedm.com. And anybody that goes to that website, you will be able to see the tab that'll say fundraiser for the praise service, praise and unity service fundraiser. And you will be able to donate there. They take all forms of payments. And we've got measures in place where there are many stakeholders that are Liberians, the Creekside Church, Friends of Liberians, that will all make sure there is proper accountability for the collection and transmission of the funds that are collected.
Great. Is there any contact?
Yeah,
number?
that's what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask a couple of things, Melvin,
Yes.
if I may. So I heard you say Des Moines. So it is Des Moines, Iowa.
That's correct.
Okay, great. I think that is where we have the largest Liberian community in Iowa.
We
so
do.
After here, I will be putting you in touch with a couple of Liberian community leaders in Des Moines, Iowa, that can really, get the Liberian community out to that. And the other thing I would like for you to do is to maybe ask the church if they can actually go live that day during the service, and we can broadcast that, and then we can get our online community and our online village on board, so that it's not only the people in the church that are donating, but that our community and our village can donate also.
I have a quick question.
Let me respond once. Yes.
Okay.
So the intention, assuming all the technical people do what they do, the intention is to indeed stream that program live. Mother Cynthia, who is here, God willing, will also be part of that live streaming. The technical aspects permit, she will be able to address the entire body there and to encourage them and appreciate them. And depending on Jessica's health, a decision will be made whether she will also say something as well. So yes, absolutely. We can connect offline and we'll work out those modalities.
Great. Don't forget, you are the legal practitioner here, so make sure you got us so we don't say or do anything that will.
Right. That's why I wanted to ask Mr. Gayman, because we are going to contribute what we can on our end. But the most important thing for me, and I think for everybody on the panel, is justice. So have you guys, retain a lawyer in Liberia to fight on her behalf to make sure that this guy is brought to justice? That's what I want to know, because he can't just, this case can't just die down. Justice has to be served, and that's what I really want to know about.
Very, very good point. It's appreciated. Part of what we're hoping this fundraising will do, not only to provide funds to defray some of the costs that Jessica, her family have had to endure, but also to see if an attorney could be retained to help follow the case along. But in addition to the retention of counsel to assist to ensure some level of accountability, we also want the public to stay interested in the case. We want the public to be in constant contact with the Justice Ministry, their spokespeople, to express interest in the case. I think we all understand the more people are interested, the more people express interest, the least likely this situation is to able to go into oblivion the way other issues have gone. And so, yes, we're looking at legal counsel to help in terms of accountability in the case, as well as we're asking the public's interest so that this doesn't get swept under the rug.
Great. Madam Lloyd, we got let me see. Ali, can you
yeah, let me ask a quick question there.
Yes, Ali, you wanted to ask?
If I may, Ali, before you come in, for legal purposes.
You gotta mute Mr. Ali.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, for legal purposes, we don't want to particularly get into the facts, especially what Jessica may have told her mother. We want to preserve the integrity of the evidence. We want to preserve the integrity of the witness. And so to the extent we can all inquire about how Jessica's doing, and we can talk about the rally and the purposes and what we're hoping to get accomplished, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Ali, you want to ask a question?
Yeah. Are you getting any feedback from me?
Yes, but go ahead.
I don't know how, because I can't hear any feedbacks. But anyways, the first thing I wanted to know is, where is the alleged culprit?
Mother can understand that I received was that he remains incarcerated. I had talked to Mother Cynthia a couple of days ago. She shared with me that the government had shared with her that they had a hearing, I think the day before, for an arraignment or something to that effect. Mother Cynthia, can you speak as far as when you told me the government had contacted you about there being a hearing a couple of days earlier last week? Ma Cynthia, are you hearing me?
Mother Cynthia, can you hear?
No.
Yeah, but she had mentioned to me, of course, she and I even talked with Jessica briefly, but we've been talking on multiple occasions. She had mentioned that earlier in the week when I inquired that the government had told her that they had some form of a hearing, and I believe that was an arraignment where the defendant would plead guilty, not guilty, and so forth. So that's the best information I've received thus far.
Great. Cynthia.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Because of the legal status of the case, we won't keep you too long. What is it you want from the world? What do you want for us to do? What do you want us to know? What is it you are requesting from the public?
You're breaking in on the internet.
Okay. Well,
hello.
I can tell you.
George Johnson, can you tell me?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
You getting me now? Yes. Hello. Hello?
Yes. Are you hearing me? Okay. So I think she's
That's a
about
network situation in Liberia.
Yes.
So far, this is a wonderful family, especially in light of the circumstances in Liberia. This is a family where the mom and dad are still married; they're still together. The dad works doing security work to put food on the table. The mother, as she mentioned earlier, she dabbles in the market and does what she can to keep things in order. They have 2 children. They have Jessica and Jesse. They're twins. They're a wonderful family. I've had an opportunity, as I said, for a while to interact with them. Jessica has aspirations of becoming a nurse. And so in terms of long-term prayers, we're also hoping that as the word gets out, there will be people that will listen to it. The Lord will touch their hearts, and perhaps some things can be done. Medically, because of the blunt force trauma she received to her head, I've been told that the CT scan available there revealed a lot of blood on her brain. And so basically the concussion-like symptoms that are common with American football players are what she's experiencing, as the mother says, the speech, the appetite and things, and many other symptoms. She's experiencing migraine, tremendous migraine headaches around the clock. I think we all know that the medications to deal with that are not readily available, especially if you're not a very a rich family. So there's a lot of issues there. But her aspiration is to become a nurse and perhaps go beyond that. And so that's what I know so far about this wonderful, wonderful family. As Mother Cynthia said, that while those of us in the diaspora, you travel, you see the social media, you see things about other young people, especially young women and young men, what they're doing. This family, this mother, this father have really done well. They've really done well to make us Liberians proud that we have these family units that are still being raised and still coming up in Liberia.
Thank you.
If I may, Mr. Jerome, Mr. Gayman, I have a question for Judge Johnston.
Yes.
So he just mentioned something that really struck my attention about her medical condition. Is she safe in Liberia under this current circumstances with the condition you just described? Her, having a concussion-like symptom due to the blood, circumstances with her brain. Is it safe for her to be taken out of the country, given our, medical challenges we have in Liberia?
Yeah, very good point. To answer your question, yes, she's still in Liberia, unfortunately, in terms of taking her out of the country for treatment. Again, that's part of the prayer. We're praying as we bring awareness, as we do the program, as we raise fund, we're praying that God will touch somebody's hearts or some people's hearts and pockets, so there will be means to give her the treatment that she deserves. And then also, as I mentioned, about her aspiration as well. So there's a lot of need here. And this is the reason we're doing this. We were investing the time, the resources to appeal to Liberians and friends of Liberians around the body of Christ to help to come to put our arms around our daughter, our little sister to help.
And Judge, have you mentioned it with the church? Because that was their mission in Liberia. They could help with facilitating, bringing her here for medical care. Have you mentioned it?
Yeah, I've had personally several discussions with the church. The church is very willing to do what they can. The church has a school in Liberia. They have a clinic in Liberia, and they have a church in Liberia that they're supporting. And so we are working with them to see how much further we can stretch them and how much further they're able to be stretched to help. Liberia is not the only country they support missions in. I understand there's Haiti and a slew of other countries. And so this is not a big congregation at all. I don't know the exact number, but I think somewhere around a couple of hundred in terms of the congregants. So this is not a huge church with a lot of resources, but they believe in the gospel. They believe in furthering the Great Commission, and they've made tremendous sacrifices towards those efforts already. But yes, we continue to work with them. We asked them to open up their black book, and meaning there are other churches that have missions in Liberia, just like they have missions, and they've agreed to reach out to those churches to come and be a part of this program. Again, believing that God will do something for our daughter, our little sister.
Sounds great. All right. Yeah, I sent you a Facebook request. So you should see it at some point when you're done. Let's connect. Let's connect. I think we can definitely do something to move things forward. I won't talk too much on here, but let's connect after here, and let's see how best we can move things forward. I just based on the circumstance and what's going on, I think there's a lot we can do for
Amen.
Jessica. As a medical, as a healthcare officer myself, I know what it is. I worked in neuroscience for a while, so I know what it is to have blood on the brain and the pressure it entails and all the things. And the longer it's there, what their risks are. So yeah, let's talk after here, and let's see how best we can move that forward. I think I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yes.
Great, guys. We have exhausted our time here. It's time for us to move on. I know in Liberia it's all about data. Sister Laura don't need to be on why, she basically we can't hear her. She can't hear her. She's having internet problem. But extend our greetings to her. Tell the family we are praying for her. On behalf of our CEO here, he will be in touch with you. And whatever else we can do, we definitely will do. I know there may be, or maybe already, a GoFundMe account where we can do things outside of the church and all of that. So Mr. Padway is very good in that area. He'll be able to help. If you want to stick around, we are going to be talking politics. If you want to stick around, that's fine. You are not limited to politics. So, okay. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you to all of you, Brother Jai, your entire staff. Thank you to all of you. I praise God for the work you're doing, and only Almighty God will reward you. Thank you again. God bless. Shalom.
Let me see. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, the show started very grim. A young person losing her life. And then another one gaining it, excuse me, which is, it was a great segue. We pray that this woman fully recovered and that she become a testimonial to our lifestyle in Liberia, our culture, our way of life. And hopefully this can be some teachable moment. But now let's segue into politics. Mr. Padmo, Mr. Kamara, Mr. Gay, Mr. Calibo, few weeks ago, several years, and few weeks ago, we were at each other's throat. People were dying in Liberia. And all of a sudden, we have a nation that we can be proud of. I mean, I saw people standing in line for hours, no issues. People went out and voted. And they've been patient waiting for the results. While we got stuff to talk about, we got other things to talk about, we have to give the Liberian people, our nation, we have to be proud of our democracy, the growth and the maturity of the people of Liberia. To have, just imagine 24 hours prior, people were killing each other on Somalia Drive. 24 hours later, we got total tranquility. People going to the polls, nobody fighting. We have arrived. Mr. Padmore, let's talk about the good before we go into anything else. I am very, very impressed with where our democracy is. Our people, Bronsky once said it. He said the peace of our country is not based on the soldiers, on the army, on the police. It is the Liberian people themselves who have agreed to keep the peace. So he always wants to give them their flowers. And I think why I am not a Liberty Party, we have to dip into that well to give the Liberian people their flowers before we go start cutting.
Absolutely. we're very nervous going into the elections. You know, there were running battles and skirmishes. But you know, the Liberian people have risen up to the task. Even though there has been, you know, some letdown by our political leaders, but for the most part, the Liberian people have risen up to the task. They've been patient for the most part. They have, you know, stayed away from violence for the most part, and they're looking up to the NEC, you know, to decide, these elections, to put out the information, and to go from there. So, you know, I just want to give a shout out to our people, you know, to say, you know, like, bravo to you. Continue being patient. You can still be anxious and be patient at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. And continue to look to the authorities to provide, you know, the information that we need. So far, we haven't heard anything about anybody coming up and saying that NEC is giving wrong information. So we remain confident in the process, as close as it is right now. But we remain confident and we remain hopeful that once the final results are announced, that everybody will accept those results and will move forward as a country, united to a common purpose.
Mr. Kamara, let me unmute you here. Mr. Kamara,
you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, somebody keep disrupting my phone. They keep calling. Sometimes my phone goes very low. You know what really I wanted to use this particular moment to say is I wanted to speak to the Liberian government, or whatever government now, government before, and government in the future. You see, we had this more than many people came to Liberia in recent time, infested our young girls with HIV and AIDS, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. All right, in fact, they were defended by government. Here we are, another guy they call a mercenary. This guy, I believe this guy has a serial killer tendency with him. I think he's an habitual serial killer. I think it just happened that he is caught in his track at this particular point in time. But I believe that if he had done that successfully, he would have done it again to another woman. I'm calling on the Liberian government to make sure that this man faces the wrath of the law. No less than 20 or 30 years imprisonment, because he has destroyed this woman's life permanently. Okay, brain injury do not go away. They will only be managed. She have to live on medications. Okay, unless she's really lucky and God himself steps in. Other than that, usually she's in trouble for the rest of her life, just because of some guy's insecurity. I don't think it was because of insecurity. I think he's a murderer. And I think for me, the kind of man I am, you know, my rules cannot apply to the natural world. But for me, I'll lay him down and put a knife to his throat and slice him exactly the amount of slashing he did to that girl. That's what I would have done. But to answer your question on this issue, look, listen, Liberia have always been a stand-up country in not just in Africa, in the world, except for 1989, Chancellor diminished most of who we were. But Liberia have always been this way. The peace that we've always enjoyed in Liberia has been a voluntary decision made by Liberian people, because our security apparatus have always been very corrupt, always. But all in all, the elections seem calm. It seemed a little bit, if I would say 80%, 85% transparent. I see skirmishes here and there that do not seem to be deliberate or intentional. So on the overall in West Africa, I'll give us a B+, and I think we've done better than any other West African country in terms of the general election.
Excellent.
Yeah, yes. If I can just make a passing comment.
Yes, go ahead.
It's important to just highlight or allele comment on the issue. Some of the line is okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I got
it. So, you know, if you look at the last 18 years, It's interesting how Leo brought the issue of the Me Too movement. Is that the Me Too movement? There's a school right there on
No, more than me.
Yeah.
More Than Me, right there. That happened under the Unity Party government. Okay? And this one is under the CDC government. And this is why consistently during the elections, we made an argument to the Liberian voters that the Unity Party government, the Unity Party, and the CDC are the party of lawlessness. They don't believe in rule of law. They comprise a band of corrupt guys who just look after each other. This is one classic case that by this time the Ministry of Justice should be giving periodic and weekly updates to the Liberian public, because this is a foreign national trying to kill a Liberian within Liberia. There is nothing much more higher to claim government attention than this one. Like in the case of the More Than Me, my friend Double Jala was also one of those who investigated that case. There was serious attempt by the UP government to cover the story because of donor funding, because they were relying on donor largesse. There were serious attempts at the highest level to bury the information, to find a way to bury it, because they felt money was coming into the country. And it's good to just highlight the fact that Alio, who is a UPist, can bring that issue up. It's important to refocus our mind on that. That for the past 18 years, we have a country that has deviated from rule of law, has shown no respect for lives and property in the country. And I thought to highlight that.
Well, before I go to Mr. Gay, we have come of age now where we can talk the truth. We can wash our dirty clothes in the streets, so we can bring it out. I think in 1979, when we were all young in middle school, we have something similar with the Joseph Berry case, a young man that was killed by the Lebanese.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. So we have a history of these things happening. Mr. Gay, our democracy, you, myself, a few days ago, we were at each other's throat. Here we are calm. And the folks in Liberia, this is why we say words have meanings. When the people hear from us that we are calm, that we can argue, we are still friends, we are still colleagues, they feed off that positivity, okay? And today we are seeing Liberia went to the polls, the CDC behind UP behind ANC, everybody stood in line, no party saying, they were all Liberian, cast their vote, they came in and they left, they went home. They listen to you, they listen to me. We say, after you cast your ballot, don't stay in the street, go home. They did that. And we had a very tranquil, peaceful election. We got to give it to them.
Before I comment on the electoral process, I also want to comment on the situation with what has been transpiring. We saw the Princess Cooper issue as well, wherein she was murdered in the Laulinga store, where there was CCTV camera, and that case would never follow through. Listen, we ought to be serious as Liberia. And even if our government is not doing the job, the people need to rise up and hold the government accountable. You cannot do any other thing better than standing up for your own citizens. Liberians are not protected by their own government within their own country. On many instances, foreigners will take advantage of our people. On many instances. And if you can live in a country, that's why, for me, I read in an article and I'm going to publish this. I'm very sad inside to see that Liberia went to the poll and voted for more of the same and rejected change. Most Liberians in Liberia today have told us, based on the reporting from NEC, that they are okay with the way they are living. They are happy with the condition they found themselves in. They are more content with how things are going with them. That Me as a millennial, it scares me. It scares me to say that. So if diaspora Liberians start remitting Liberian money to Liberia, an estimated 240 million annually from the diaspora Liberian, just to keep the economy of Liberia afloat. If they should take another stand, where will our country be? This is scary, resulting to their seeing 6 years or 12 years put together 18 years, like Mr. Gonglo began, make it simple, 18 years of struggling. How can we have a country like this? But I want to give it to them that the enthusiasm, the voter turnout, the maturity of going to the ballot boxes and not fighting and not creating chaos, even though there are, there are few instances where, few things happen, but it was not too significant. I mean, then our action need to speak otherwise. If you have such an enthusiasm, if you have such willingness to wake up early morning, stay in long queue just to cast a ballot, then it should be for a very worthy outcome. You don't risk your time, your energy, your efforts for more of the same circumstances. What are you saying to the leaders? What are you saying to the people that you talk to and say, oh, we tired every time you're gonna come right back again to the same people you say you're tired to, right? The problem of Liberia is the problem of the people themselves. Liberia, if they want change, they will. But this time around, they have told us they don't want change. They're happy just where they are. And no one should tell them how they should vote.
Thank you.
They are happy with their condition. That's what I got so far.
Thank you. Mr. Gonglo, one of the things, I was in Liberia and during the early time, and same thing during the job we had time, I went home to go home every year to visit and criticizing and doing all the same thing we always do. I think I was at a luncheon with the president, Ellen, and she asked, are you ready to come home to help in the private sector, in the non-profit? and I told her, I said, I got twin girls, they're still in middle school, I can't come to Liberia at this point. And she turned around and looked at me. Beth Finley was sitting there. She said, this is the issue with these folks. You stay over there with your expertise, your know-how. We have gaps. You say you're not ready to come. These people making do with what they have. Then you turn around and say, you're not going home. I'm here. Look, Pablo sitting here, you sitting here, Calabo here, I'm here, Kamara here. Do you know what we bring to the table? We could be home, but we're not ready. So the people got to use what they have. Then you complain, say they're doing all kinds of, Mr. Calabo, you please now, we got to be honest with ourselves. The Liberian people did an excellent job. We have to commend them for what they did.
But no, I mean, no doubt. On Tough Talking Thursday, just the night before the election, we had a show, and Dennis said, what will you say your prediction is? Newspaper headline. We're not predicting the window. We're not predicting the window. And I said, my newspaper headline prediction would be Wednesday morning, the newspaper headline would be Liberians went to the pool peacefully. The voting was peaceful. That would be the news headline. The tension will come when results are being announced. It will not be because of the voting process, So that was my prediction, and I think it came true. Aliyu admitted to that by and large, the Liberians conducted themselves peacefully, and the voting went on smoothly. But I think the tension, unfortunately, some people lost their lives during the campaign, and I think one person has been killed, I think, in the Konya area, in Lofa or something. No,
two in Lofa, one in Nimba, one in Monrovia, 4.
After the elections?
Oh no. Oh, somebody
yeah,
died.
after election, two persons actually have been killed. I think in the Bandi area, I think in the Konya area in Lofa. I mean, so my information is sedition and a UPS were in argument. The sedition did something, and the UPS died, and the angry mortal got on the sedition and killed. So there are two deaths in one village. I mean, they were arguing over people they would never meet in their life, who they would never shake hands with in their life. They were arguing over Joseph Barker and George Weah, and they killed each other.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of On Point. We are not here to discuss the results. We're not here who's going to win. That is not our thing. The European Union, the international community have warned us. Only one organization is close with that information. That is the NEC. What we can do here is discuss the numbers, the strategy, where the numbers are coming from, why the numbers are going up and down, and why they will continue to go up and down. Why there is no reason for anybody to get one percentage point up and we not win. Then when the next person come on, we say, no, you want to cheat. That's not how it works. So that's why we are here. We are not here to project anybody winning, and other. We're here to discuss and educate ourselves and our followers about the process. Now, Mr. Gonglo, you the person with the most experience.
And now you gotta circulate this thing. All here to talk about.
Yes. I'm starting this thing. I'm starting with. So talk to me. Why do we find the numbers going up and down, up and down, up and down? And I want to celebrate, but soon I ready to celebrate. Then your number go. Or what's going on? Talk to us. What? How does that happen?
The process is simple. There are stages that the verification go through. On election night, here's what happened on election night. Party representatives and pool workers get together after the voting. They empty, they break the seal they have two seals. One there to put it there before the voting, and after the voting, they break that seal and they pull the new one when they pull the ballot, they counter ballot back into that. And they have different envelopes. I'm not going to go into all these minutes. They got different envelopes for valid votes, for invalid votes, for days, the tally sheet, they put order and the tip way. But after the counting, their classification of they have the total valid vote and distributed per candidates count. Then they have the invalid vote. They do all that total. That constitute the count for that center. And the election library is kind of divided into electoral magistrate districts. So these, you got, like in Nema, you have two electoral magistrate districts. One is Tabata, the headquarters is Tabata, the other one is Sanukole. So they have in Mosera, they have two, Lower and Upper Mosera. One is in Breville, the other one is in Bentor. So in different counties, they have these. I'm not sure about the smaller counties, but I know for Bon County, they have two electoral magistrate districts. So these reporting are done at that level from the polling centers. They take the result to the magistrate district, and the magistrate sit there along with other staff, collate the collation process. They collate all the results from the various centers and then transmit it to Monrovia. That's not the ballot boxes, just transmitting the results to Monrovia, to the center. And the data center will look at it as the result come, scan, they will start to verify. Because the data center, they have all of the list for valid registered people per vote per polling center. Say polling center number whatever in Ganto. If 500 person registered there, they expect the result that will come. Not everybody will turn out to vote. Should not be more than 500. If everybody turn out to vote, should be 500 with invalid vote count and valid vote count must be 500, not 501. Okay, so that's the first thing to verify. Is the result from this center? Is it aligned with the total register of vote at that center? They verify that. If it is okay, that's first step. Then they go into that. It's the distribution, because that addition and subtraction there. Some people will not add or subtract properly. They may do, and I've seen this. In 1997, I remember I once sent to actually happened in my village, and I was accused of being the person who masterminded because I was the election magistrate. LM Johnson said he did not campaign in the village. He did not reach there. Everybody was there mostly for Charles Taylor. LM Johnson said he actually got 15 votes in the village. Taylor got 485 votes. But in the writing of result, the poll worker wrote 485 for LM Johnson Sally and 15 for Charles Taylor. I'm sitting there in Sanugule thinking, and the party MPP agent ran to Sanugule. That's an error. But the agents have already signed onto that. And I said, no, I can change it. Because you challenge it, we had to go to Monrovia, open the ballot box, and count. I can definitely agree with you that this 485 was meant for Charles Taylor. This 15 was meant for LM Johnson Sally, but I cannot change it by law. So let's go. And people took it to mean that I was biased. So that's the process. So what is happening now? Once the verification takes place, NEC then go ahead, enter into the database, then pass do that printing and pass it on to the Board of Commissioner to announce it. So you see the variation, the ups and downs, based on which center has been verified. So some of the smaller centers, that's why in some instances, some of the smaller counties were verified faster because the numbers were smaller, right? It was easy to go with it. But the bigger county with bigger numbers, like different polling station, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a big number. The verification takes some time. Okay. So some people want to maybe impute more motive to it, sinister motive to it, say, oh, the smaller counties are for the incumbent. Why are they going for the smaller county first? Because the numbers are smaller. It's easier for the guys at the data center to verify maybe 400 person at the center as opposed to 600 person.
Right.
I mean, that's just what is happening. But I think the what I saw here this evening, the margin has shrunk so much, that what is separating the CDC and the UP now is like probably 6 or 5 votes. This is less. I think I saw like 589,000 something.
Yeah, the difference.
589 to I think 579.
3,000. The difference now total is about 3,800.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Mr. Padmore.
The percentage.
Before I go to Mr. Morris here, we are seeing. I know we know this because I have worked here on several elections myself. There is something called the raw numbers. That is what on the wall, where we just go and snap a photo of it, and we go and count the raw numbers. But between the polling place, the process has to be sanitized. That means go through the system, make sure the name matches, the number matches, everything matches. Even the valid vote has to be verified that they are valid, actually valid. You can't just come and take the number and say 500 valid vote and they just take it. They have to actually verify that those invalid votes are invalid votes. So it takes time. But some people will say, I got my numbers. I got a number on the wall. That number will never change. Whereas where somebody should have written 18, they transport the number 18 become 81. But the system will catch that and say, no, there are only 18 people at this particular precinct system or this precinct. It cannot be 81. The number may be transferred. This is what the data center and the sophistication of the metric system comes in. It catches those things and corrects them. Doesn't mean anybody has cheated. It means that it has been self-corrected. So, Padmo, your experience and what you know about election, we are all amateur here. But the difference between the raw data, what we get, we just take photo shot or screenshot of the thing and say, the number here, the day you change it, if the number deviate one time, we're going to war. I'll be hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been very disappointing, especially for our political leaders who have continued to push that narrative, talking about, oh, we're getting 97% of our tally sheets, so we are declaring ourselves first round winners. And anything else that changed, then the country will end. Those kind of talk and that has been greatly, spoken against. It's been disappointing. I'll be honest with you. The Liberian people have always yearned for change, whether they are looking for change from new people, from new actors, or whether they are even looking for change from the present actors on the ground. They've always, yearned for change. And when you see, our political leaders behaving in such manner, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. We saw, I don't know if you saw the blue plastic bag challenge. It's like, and I will tell you one thing that has really, really bothered me is that in the midst of all of this, Ambassador Boyka has remained silent. As the glaring leader of the opposition, I really expected him to come out to speak, to calm the situation. And he's remained silent. Nothing. We haven't heard anything from him since election day. There's been a lot of talk. Oh, this person cheating, that person cheating. Mobile model to the counting center, and this person doing this. And I really, really was hopeful that he would come out and speak and say, look, we have, because as the verification is going on, Unity Party has a space at the table to be present from beginning to end every single day to make sure that there's no cheating going on, that the rules are being applied by, to come up and reassure the people and say, look, we are following the process. We are there. We'll make sure your votes are protected. Remain calm. Let the process continue, and we remain confident and blah, 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 and all the other things people say. But just to remain silent. It was one of the things that the Liberian people hated the most about George Weah. Is that in the midst of anxiety in the nation, he would not come and talk to his people. And so I was really disappointed in Ambassador Boyka. Fortunately for us, the Liberian people have been able to calm themselves and to watch the process go through. But, like you said, the votes are not going to be the same thing you see on the wall. Will it change much? It should not. It should not change any vast amount. But there will be ups and downs on both sides, and our people should be educated on those things so that they do not see that as cheating, but they see that as part of the process.
Thank you. Mr. Kamara.
Yes, sir.
You've been following the process. We've been following the process. Everybody's been following the process. As usual, the problem in Liberia doesn't come from the Liberian folks. It usually comes from us, people who are saying, "Oh, I saw CDCN walking near the SKD. We need UP. We need a force to go out there."
Mr. Gayman, you said that already 3 times already. Let me just say this.
Deep bunging.
And I like the AAC people. Growing up back in the days. By the way, I'm sorry for the abrupt going off. Somebody just called me to inform me that my uncle has just died in Africa. But
I mean, was a young man.
Hey, we know we're Muslim. They'll bury him tomorrow before 2 o'clock. Anyway.
How everybody dying so fast today?
Yeah, he was in his mid-60s and almost 70. Relatively still young, but hey.
Yeah, young man.
Yeah, it is what it is. So I gotta finish the show. I told him I would finish the show. So when I finish the show, we'll call him and figure out how to get him buried. But back in the same, we used to say made in China, Nangbanali, back in the days, the Chinese people used to bring some kind of truck. That truck can't give up. When the truck give up, they can go in the hood, they open the engine, they post only on the engine, they want it, where? That truck will restart. That how the ANC people looking. You ask about numbers here and something, the man John producer bugger. Well,
public should go in you. Jesus.
that Joseph, they will go for Joseph Baca. Even though campaign finished, they will still go for Joseph Baca. But this is what I would say. You know, and I like my brother Keleku. He said have it all the time. What I recall that it was Joa Howard Taylor defending the lady who was in charge of more than me, who protected her. But anyway, that's an argument. Those campaign arguments, I've passed those campaign arguments, Mr. Gilman. We're talking about election now. Election is over. We're talking about winning now. After that, we'll be discussing after winning. We'll be talking about government of national unity, government of development. I'm a progressive. I go stage by stage. I cannot keep being in reverse. You know what I'm saying? But all I can say about this particular election, whatever happens, in the worst case scenario, which our numbers are telling us, we know that worst case scenario will not happen. And the worst case scenario will be a second round, period, point blank. That's the worst case scenario, even though our number doesn't even allude to that worst case scenario. But what I would tell you, Mr. Gilman, on this show today, clear cut, whatever happens, the Liberian people will put their country first. Liberia is bigger than any single individual. As you see, we are here. We got 3 square meals. We got money in our pocket. The day I found out I only got 500 in my checking account, I can get sick. That's how bad I've gotten used to money. Whereby that's some people a 5-month salary in Liberia. Yet we're worried about Liberia. That's where my umbilical cord was buried. Each and everybody on this platform. So we will hold Liberia at a high esteem. We will protect Liberia first. We will not fall for Keleku and frustration that the CDC can't win the way they want CDC to win. So we will continue to keep the peace.
Thank you, Elvis. We had like I said, few months ago, the Unity Party said that we win first round. We say we win first round. The numbers are coming in. It shows that the Liberian people are basically split in the middle. Okay, they are doing what they're supposed to do. We are here. We have everybody who is peace loving. Everybody is now. I'm not hearing anybody cursing anybody. I'm not hearing anything besides the few noise makers that are insignificant. Someone said somewhere called himself in exile. Nobody put him in exile. God got up and went to Seven, sitting there say, ready from exile. Nobody. So here we are.
Who the God already for exile?
No, man, I won't call it here. We're not coming from.
Oh, okay.
Exile. The same thing happened. My uncle Alva took my trying to go through Sierra Leone to make himself an international person. They chasing me. They said no, go back to IRA. He came back to IRA. He said they wanted to kill me. Last week I talked to him. He in Buchanan. I said, but if they're trying to kill you, why are you doing? How you get that Monrovia? You went to Magibi, you went to Riverside, you went to Basel, and you're still alive. So we're saying this, but Elvis, our political process. The numbers keep going back and forth. Those who don't understand will say, like yesterday, one of our own commentator here said, why are they calling all the numbers from the Southeast? There's a conspiracy going on. But then when you look at the number, all the 15 counties, they were up to 51, 52 with the exception of Magibi, that were down to, I think, 14%. So they come up with a conspiracy theory that they are calling the number from one area based on. There's a reason for that, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Sorry, I've been in and out. My phone keep overheating and it keeps turning off. So maybe I gotta find a different device next time. But I'm already resigned to the fact that whoever wins these elections, I'll be okay with it. If it's Joseph Boyka, I'm fine with it. If it's George Weah, I'm fine with it. The reality is, when people like Mr. Aliyu Kamaris make those, sort of statement that he just made, it's not just him. Other people who are UP, supporters have made similar statements that based on the tally sheet, they've already won the elections. And I don't know, they have this, this confidence that they've won the elections without us, seeing that they've won the elections. So most likely it's going to go to a second round. We want to have 25% of the votes go. And I think Joseph Boyka's stronghold, Lofa, has came in. He's winning about 56 or so %. which is good, but it's not to the margins that he enjoyed in the previous elections. Or Nimba is coming in heavily in his favor, but again, it's not, very close to the numbers that he was hoping for. So I don't know where these magical votes is going to, because it's only 43%. You need almost another 300,000 or 400,000 votes, to really get to the 50 plus one. And I don't know where it's coming from, because last time I heard, George Weah was winning Bassa. He was winning River Cess, and Mark Gibby, I'm not sure. I think they said he was winning Mark Gibby, but that's going to be decided. So I'm not going to jump, yeah, neck to neck in Bond contest. So most likely it's going to be a second round. And, I hope it goes to the second round, because anything happens in the first round would be suspicious to most people. Everybody said there's never been an election ever won in the first round in our country. So most likely it'll go to a second round. But I feel sorry for the ANC folks. I really do, because I don't know if it's a legitimate, tally of their votes, because it seems unusual that ANC will be so low in the tallies, because Cummings has put a lot of work in. He hasn't done anything so detrimental that he will lose, almost 5 percentage points from what he had the last time. So it almost seemed like the Liberian people are just decided between Joseph Weicker and George Weah, and maybe they're keeping Cummings for 2029. But it's baffling for me. Even though I support this president, I think Cummings' result is just kind of strange and peculiar. But overall, I mean, like, so far the process has been going on smooth. I heard that some schools in Liberia have suspended, classes for the next week in anticipation of the final results being released, just in case there might be violence or some uproar. But so far so good. I think, Mr. Gayman, you have more information. I don't know how it's looking on the CDC end, but Mr. Kamara is confident that they're going to win. I haven't seen any clear pathway for them, because everything seems to be tight in most of the counties that's left. So, we're all excited and we're looking forward to these elections, results.
Great. We have our numbers, but like we said, the numbers are raw data. We crunching numbers just like everybody else. So that's why we were on a mandate not to mention anything about percentages, number, just discuss what the NEC put out. That's it. Right. Don't go beyond that, because the EU, the international have warned us that it is dangerous to do so. Okay. What I know for the fact is when PYJ was making his call to the young man, he said, we are going to win. And the young man said, how? He says, because we have the Bassa Bell, we got Riverside, we got Grand Bassa, we got Magibi with us, we got Lofa with us, we got Nimba with us, we got Bon County with us, we got Bapolo with us. He named all of those counties that they were going to win by landslide. Today we're hearing they lost Riverside, they lost Grand Bassa County. Now they losing Bon County. In Bon County, Joe Weah got 66,669 to 53,000 from Joseph Weicker. So all of those big counties that he said they were going to lose, the Bassa Bell, they had lost that. So the Nima, for him to win, they think they can make up that number in Nima, to win Nima, to make up what they had lost in Lofa. Because remember, Lofa last year, they won Lofa in the first round by 92%. And today they won Lofa by 56%. 56%. George Weah CDC last time we had 6.7% of the vote in Lofa. Today we got 27%. Okay. Not only that, but we pick up the senatorial seat. We pick up 3 other seats. So CDC now control 4 out of 5 of the seats that were in there. So it is not a unity party. One thing they are now hoping is that this is a opposition stronghold now. Legislatively, we are hoping that Joseph Weicker can become president, so we can have some solids. Hopefully, once he win, the guy will switch from CDC back to UP to help the old man govern. That is why we are hearing about. They have done very poorly in that place. Joe, we have chipped away. So Nima County is up to 71%. We got 29% to go. They are winning at 54.6%. For them to make up all the numbers around, they have to win Nima by 80%.
75 to 80%. Yeah, I agree.
Yes. So here we are.
But Gayman, if I may just come in here, I think I want to just say something short here. Ali was making, a sarcastic statement.
But man, when I hear how you heard it.
No,
in the back.
I was in the back. I was listening.
Just kidding. I know you were in the back.
No, I was listening. The thing about the election is that, we have to put in context, Alio. If you don't know this, let me let you know. Councillor Gonglo, the Liberian People's Party.
But how did man just come from the back? Just join. Like that.
The man was listening. The man had video turned off.
The man,
Alio, I can naturally shut up and let somebody else talk.
No.
Is that what you prefer?
Mr. Caliber, he's just joking.
All right, so let's put the election in context. Councillor Gonglo won in this election to win with little resources. In fact, what he's achieving in the mix of a very corrupt society where people have band together in different forms, in different sororities for power and access to power, I give it to him. The final results are not out yet, but I believe when the final results are out, Councillor Gonglo will be coming around the tail, please. I can tell you that. And he will be achieving that by using 12 years old Land Cruiser Jeep that he bought from some UN auction in Monrovia. He was not using new Jeremiah Kun did not buy him car that he bought for Boaka. He was using his own resources and his supporters in the diaspora, giving whatever they can give him. He had a great message for the Liberian voters. This is why Councillor Gonglo, as a courageous leader, he conceded that as it stands, based on the data available to me, it appears that the Liberian voters are choosing between the former ruling party and the current ruling party. And it doesn't appear like I'm going to be one of them.
Can I clarify something quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gilman. Let me tell you, Mr. Gilman, part two. I mean, not Mr. Gilman, Mr. Gwanglo. I mean, why am I keep messing this in English? Yeah, Mr. Gwanglo. Let me tell you. Huh?
You are confused.
Yeah, I am. I just want to clarify something to you. A lot of us in the Unity Party, I'm not in the Unity Party. A lot of us who support Joseph Boaka
know this for fact.
And Unity Party Star Wars.
Do you deny that you are a sedition?
Wait, hold on now. Hold on. I'm coming to you.
On a public platform. That's a
what?
In 2005 sedition, 2011 sedition, you're a sedition.
Let me say what I'm saying here first of all. Okay?
Well, answer that question.
I will answer your question if you just be patient 1 minute. Okay.
I'll be quiet.
We who support Joseph Boaka and the Unity Party Star Wars, we hold nothing against Taiwan. In fact, I will tell you straight up from conversation in the background, people consider Taiwan Gonglo part of Joseph Boaka. It is only you, Kelepu, who comes on the show all day looking for ways to fight Joseph Boaka. Joseph Boaka people are not worried about Taiwan Gonglo. At the end of the day, if in a very unlikely scenario there's a second round, Taiwan will declare support for Joseph Boaka. We know that. So you keep making this thing about a fight between Joseph Boaka and Taiwan. I want to clarify to you that there have never been a fight between Joseph Boaka and Taiwan.
Great.
So you can keep away Joseph Boaka.
Great. Statement about
okay.
On this platform.
On the very platform, he said something different.
Few minutes
guys,
ago.
let me change the topic here. Let's go to
No, but Gilman, I wanted to just end on what Evans said.
Please go ahead.
Evans, I wanted to just add this.
Okay.
Evans, your assertion that is not probably possible for someone to win on first round. That's what I thought as someone who has been dealing with this issue and numbers for years. But I will tell you this. I repeated it. I'm going to repeat myself on this. In 1998, when Joe Wallace entered Monrovia along with Roosevelt Johnson, I was among the group that went to the mediation group that was trying to mediate between them and the Taylor at the time. I was part of that group. And Comrade Joe Wallace is my comrade. We spent some time together in Ivory Coast in refugee life. And so I went there. And when we met each other, we were hugging. He said, I said, Joe, why you took this risk? And Joe said to me, Caleb, when two opposite poles develop in any society, it's only a matter of time to clash. What is happening in Liberia today? The Unity Party is claiming, has actually campaigned and indicated they can win first. It's possible for someone to win first round victory. And they are in fact saying that James Flomoyan, the former commissioner, has actually said that, right? So what they've done now, they prepare the population mind that it's okay now for somebody to win first round victory. So,
so can we give it a we are in the first round?
It's a competitive race. You just need a little team edge, and the thing has been played in the public. It's competitive. So somebody may
I don't get your point, but Mr. Gayman, go to the next person.
So I can tell you, based on what you guys have introduced, that narrative, the public has already bought it. That they think the final result is coming. There is no round of election. So
we agree. Okay. Go to the next person.
Let's go to the next topic here. Mr. Padma, start with, then I'll go to Mr. Gay. There was something in the media. The Unity Party people fraudulently did a spreadsheet, took the logo of the EU.
The EU, yeah.
On the letterhead, fake letterhead, and said the EU has conceded to the Unity Party that they have won the election. The international community had to hastily call a news conference condemning that this is fake news. Mr. Padmore, for folks who say they are coming, clean hands, honorable people, people with integrity, can you imagine how disgraceful it is that the whole world can say you are a liar? What you are doing here is actually in some area, this is fraud. This is a crime. You cannot take people's likeness, their name, their logo, and take it to a World Trade Center and put it on a piece of paper and say, we have won. They say we won. Mr. Padmo.
I'm laughing because I don't even know why people are surprised. This is Unity Party. Have we forgotten? People will say are campaigning. Oh, the election over, you stay campaigning. You know, when you have principle, your principle never changes. Whether it's campaign season or whether elections are over, your principle never changes. It's Unity Party. These people came on and told us here, they held a blue plastic band, so we get 97% of our talent. And our talent sheet have told us that we winning first round.
Yeah, 54%.
They're talking about second round.
Remind him about the question you're asking.
So you lie to us? Like you came on and lie to us?
97%, but then losing wasn't
you lie to us?
Please remind him about the question you're asking.
Pretend that you lie. Like you did not tell a lie. We must just pretend that you never say anything, and everybody must go get online again to vote the second time. Or should we demand an explanation from you? Why did you tell us that you had evidence of a first round victory, but now we're going into second round? What happened? Did they cheat us? Should we go to Supreme Court? You know, it's the thing about it is that we've been preaching this thing. I'm glad that the Grandpa seen it for themselves. So nobody will say tomorrow, oh, I didn't know. You know, everybody see who Unity Party is for who Unity Party is. This is not an endorsement of CDC. CDC has the same attributes. They went and said the same thing. Oh, we got on a war room. Our war room said one round victory. Yeah, now. It looks like we're marching to second round. Do you think they will offer an excuse or offer an explanation? No. Where is the change? The change that we so yearn for, where is the change? You know? But so when you talk about document that they posting on Facebook in their various, you know, Facebook chat rooms and stuff, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at these people. They are who they are. We knew them for 12 years. 12 years we knew them. They changed. Here's who they are.
Mr. Gay. Mr. Gay.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Those of you in a professional life, for you to fabricate somebody, I mean, do you think some of these PhDs and master's degree and study people, do you think we should audit somebody? Because for you to listen, Mr. Padmore, it is something for me to take your name and use it because you are individual, but the whole world, the EU, the entire European Union, you fake their document. Can you imagine? And they have to come on the air and say you are fake, Mr. Gay. I don't know whether you in your line or where you are a computer person. You know what? Have you ever seen something where the whole world come down and say, you know what, you are as fake as they can? They say, you know, you fake like a $3 bill. Talk to me.
Even in college, plagiarism is a crime. If you are caught plagiarizing in college, they will expel you from the school. You're not coming back there again. That's a straightforward thing. If you have word for word copy, your classmate, you have the same thing. Teacher identify that you're out. Or that's why they have special website that can, even right now, with the GPT, you know, AI GPT stuff, a lot of students are being caught now because they think have one word writing. So if you use the thing to write a paper, people are identifying it now, right? Look, unfortunately, Liberia is in the circumstances wherein, you know, the situation of our country allow these things. In a developed country, Unity Party will pay a lot of money. But in Liberia, these things can happen in flat. We just talked about where our citizens can be killed in our own country and nothing happened by foreigners. So let alone politicians going, you know, using other institution name or letterhead. Look, it is sad, right? Me, I said on this show.
Anthony, quick question, my man, please. Sorry to interrupt you. Now that we know CPP is not going to be in the second round, you can speak freely now. Nobody will punish you in the CPP. Who you guys going to vote for in the second round? We won't know.
We don't have to vote for anybody because we don't like one of the two.
So you got to be patriotic, my man. It's down to the two choices. It's a binary choice.
No.
Or we are.
This is not patriotism. Do you know what patriotism is? Speaking, standing up for every Liberian citizen that should have, you know, protection under the law. That's patriotism. You understand?
So voting is not patriotic.
Another corrupt political party and hope for patriotism. That's not patriotism.
So CPP will abstain.
Hold on. I don't have to support Unity Party, no. CDC. Because me, I have said, and I continue to say, the UP-led administration, if they're fortunate to win this election, will not be any different from the CDC-led administration. And this is my opinion. Until they prove me wrong, Liberia will not, you know, experience any kind of drastic change from Joseph Yuma Boaka-led administration than what we are seeing from the CDC. Let us just be honest with ourselves here. You saw the man being a leader of the Unity Party since 2017 up to now. You saw the challenges that Unity Party faced. Let alone running a country. So, for me, my opinion, my principle remain uncompromised.
I would take calls today.
As though that Unity Party going to work some kind of miracle for Liberia to be, you know, connected with broadband connectivity throughout the left and right from Liberia. In the next 6 years, we'll have, you know, 2-3 million jobs created in the private sector. Wait, I'm not going to think that way. It is impossible for it to happen. They can prove me wrong, but I'm seeing whether George Weah win or Unity Party win is going to be more of the same. Because behavior have shown us that's who they are.
Could I give a polite suggestion to the CPP? I think regardless of who wins these elections, I think Cummings should join the CDC. I think both entities really need each other. I think what CDC lacks, Cummings has, and what Cummings lacks, CDC has. CDC has a strong base, and strongly from the southeast. Cummings comes from that region. That's going to play in his favor. What CDC lacks is a quote unquote, you know, a competent, well-versed leader who can articulate his vision, who is not shy to come up and speak. I think you guys, you know, Cummings should strongly support it. A lot of the ANC people originally came from the CDC. I think in 2029, if George Weah loses these elections, he should consider a merger with the CDC, and that way it will just give him that boost from the grassroots, so he has a base to run on. Other than that, where's his next base going to come from if he's going to run in 2029? Is he going to take it from the CDC? Is he going to take it from the UP? These two political parties are already made. Just how people join the Democrat or the Republican, there's nothing wrong joining the CDC. So I think you should consider it. I don't know how you guys look at it, but let me make a comment on the UP.
Before you proceed, let me use 30 seconds since you did the same to me.
Go ahead.
That is only if Mr. Cummings is thinking to contest 2029. Only Mr. Cummings has that decision, right?
You don't think he's going to contest 2029?
I don't think so, in my opinion. But if he who am I? He can change his mind anytime. But I don't think so.
And that's why it's important to go to the CDC, because he's saying on his own he can't do it. He's not making the headways. Okay, so the people, Jefferson Koji has been friendly to him, said that they're talking to him, they're seeing if they can merge with the CDC or the ANC. Remember that he said that. So my thought is that could possibly happen. But let me say this, Mr. Gayman, before you take over. The UP has been the most irresponsible in these elections. CDC has been making noise. Oh, it will be first round, it will be this, but they haven't come out giving out false results. They haven't done that. They haven't come up and say, "Oh, we got all the votes in the blue plastic bag. Oh, 16,000 tally sheets that can't even fit in the plastic bag." But Dylan is already talking that they got all the results. CDC has not done that. So the irresponsibility of the UP has been shown to the international community by going out and putting that fake information and the people having to come back and rebuff them. That's so irresponsible of them. The desperation is too, is at a high level. Everybody can see it. They're too desperate. These guys want it at all costs. They may get it, legitimately, they may get it, but it will be diminished by the way they carry themselves before the full result has even been announced. Back to you, Mr. Gayman.
Gentlemen,
I can't wait to speak. What the hell can I say?
Let's go to the last segment here, and I will start with Kamara. Mr. Kamara,
yes,
this
sir.
one here, I got to give you the red meat. The international community also put out a report that the incumbent, the government in power outspent the opposition. I don't know why they said that, because it makes no sense. When Joseph Weger was in, when you were incumbent the last time, you had state resources, you used it, you lost. Talk to me. They said the state used a lot of resources. It was a disadvantage to the opposition.
Let's talk about the letter first.
No, we're coming. I'm talking about this. What you want to talk about now?
But everybody talk about it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and then address the
First of all, they say, oh, the UP. Do you know how the UP do their thing? You think UP can just do their thing because one person is on a person, now the UP did it? Is that how y'all look at it?
Oh, they did it for UP, and Joseph Weger never denied it. He never condemned it.
Well, I can come out and do my own thing on the internet, given that people know I support Joseph Weger, and I post something out there. You cannot necessarily legally attribute that to Joseph Weger. It's just me doing my thing. So first, before I expect that you people will go for the UP. It's nothing strange. That's why I say I'm enjoying it, because I feel like it's entertainment. I know all of you guys that know the right thing. When it comes to trying to get it, Joseph Weger, you got all of you want to see inside. I understand that.
He's not even debunking the case. Joseph
But I've already told you.
Or the party chairman will have come out and say this is not us. But the party chairman never did. Nobody in the hierarchy ever did. Mr. Aliu Kamara never did.
Well, Mr. Kamara, it can't be the CDC writing that letter saying that United Party wins. So definitely it didn't come from the CDC.
I did not say CDC said. What I am saying is, when the Unity Party does stuff, it do it at the administrative level. You have the Secretary General, you have the party chairman. It comes from them. Not just anything you see fly, say UP says so, then you say, oh yeah, well, the Unity Party, Joseph Weger endorsed this. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But to your when it comes to the CDC now, the people say, oh, Joe, we are outspending the opposition. You say it don't make sense. But to see a fly by net, people fly on the internet, that one that makes sense. Because talk about the UP, right? Now let me tell you this. When those people speak, they take so many things to account. George Weah, private jet. George Weah, private helicopter. George Weah, more than 200 pickup trucks. Okay, the question is, how wealthy is George Weah? What kind of connection does George Weah have out there that giving him these things? Mr. Gilman, where do you think George Weah taking these things from? But ANC, Padmo and Gay, what they don't want to hear that they're talking. Well, I'm talking
But Mr. Kamara, who paid for Joseph Baga helicopter in the 2017 election? Who paid for Baga helicopter in the 2017 election? Now Baga says pay for it. Where you money from?
But Jeremy, he flew helicopter.
These guys, the two guys sitting over there,
well, we won't know how Baga guy body for the helicopter in 2017. I won't know.
Mr. Kamara, they call you to a point.
They will say when
you were the incumbent, you were flying helicopter, you were outspending everybody, and you got defeated. Now,
that's misleading.
How is that misleading? You forgot a member helicopter in 2017. Now, what you made that statement?
That is misleading. If you say Joseph Baga outspent everybody during the 2017 election, give me an example.
They made a right helicopter, Joe. We are a right helicopter in 2017.
UP has state resources in 2017.
The UP gave the resources to Joe Baga in 2017.
So
who paid for the helicopter? I want to know who paid for the helicopter. Joseph Baga paid for it for a vice presidential salary.
Listen to me.
Do you know
I know how we want to do the one to the thing Boyokaya way. Joseph, all of Joseph Walker's stuff during these campaigns come from donations.
They came for donation, but Joe, we are there. Yeah, Joe, we are for donation.
Let me Oh, the book, let me finish one sentence.
You've been talking to Mr. Gonglo. We are talking about you are muted.
Oh man. No problem.
Mr. Gonglo, you are muted.
But unmute him.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
Okay, now here we are talking about two things here. We're running out of time here. We are talking about the fraudulent thing that Unity Party did by fabricating the EU's letterhead and everything else and flying it all over the place, giving everybody that listen, we have won. Here the proof. The EU said we have won, only to have the EU chairperson, ambassador, called a press conference and said these people are fake. Joseph Baga is fake, like $3 bill.
I think that narrative, let me tell you, there are two things we need to know. One, Unity Party in 2011, under Unity Party, the Elections Commission Chair Jim Flomoyan swapped CDC result for Unity Party. I mean, you saw that. It's evidential. It was there. Jim Flomoyan has to disgracefully leave the Election Commission because of that. Second, this action fit in Bwaka narrative for 2020.
All right.
Like I say, I can dance with the devil to get power. It means anything Bwaka can do, including counterfeiting EU letterhead just to confuse the public. That's what Bwaka said. I can dance with the devil for the sake of power. It means a lot. It encompasses everything. It encompasses killing people as well. You saw what happened for you, right? It also includes that. I can dance with the devil.
Great. Now let's talk about resources in the United States. I think we have something similar here with the Republican and the Democrat. The folks were saying while Barack Obama was campaigning, he was using Air Force One, he was using this, it was unfair. And the folks said, listen, it comes with the president of the United States. Everywhere he goes on Air Force One.
Air Force One belongs to the United States government.
But he was still in office as president, so he wasn't out of office.
No.
He was still serving as a president.
What you said, Mr. Gay?
Air Force One is the government property. It's not private entity that have to take extra money. The Air Force One is already there. The budget for the whole year already outlined. Wherever the president goes with that Air Force One has already been allocated through the budgetary allotment.
That's correct. That's what we're seeing.
No, hold on now. Unlike President, we are flying private jet or private helicopter for campaign. It was not budgetary allotted.
How you know?
How you know putting donate money for the men to fly the country, Mr. Kamarasa?
You see, I gotta be compare America with like bro. All the time
you see my budget here. On my budget. Listen, you see on travel. You know what they got on travel? Travel, they got everything on travel here.
Listen, man, Mr. Gayman.
Okay, and then the last line here, they say miscellaneous. So I can use that miscellaneous. I can put anything. I can put anything there.
No. You're not talking to, says good here, right? What President Weah is doing to Liberia is no different than what Joseph Yumabwaka did to Liberia in 2017. Flying the helicopter. We don't have a helicopter of our own. That's a private
helicopter, not helicopter. Helicopter.
HE.
Okay. Okay.
Helicopter.
Yeah, helicopter. How you call it, Liberia? Helicopter.
People left women that you want to put down, you could cram a helicopter. Y'all got helicopter in Grand Gire.
I know. And we you helicopter the break off out of the game board again, you were saying?
Listen. The helicopter, usage, the minimum you pay is around 130, 150,000 a day. Go look at it.
Stop it, man. The Liberia price we're talking about, America price.
How you know? There is no competitive market in Liberia to say that's a price here. You know.
So that's propaganda.
They may talking to you, not me talking to. The point I'm trying to make you is the reason you pay that money is for the pilot that you're paying in the fuel. But that's in Liberia. Liberia is not going to be 135,000, maybe 20,000, 30,000, but not 125.
First of all, what the Judge Weah flying, it does not stay in Liberia. Every time before it flies, it has to leave the airport in Senegal. Right? It has to leave the airport in Senegal to come to Liberia, pick up President Weah, carry to wherever bring it back to Liberia, and then go back to Senegal.
Let me do it. I'm coming for Google. For sure. Anytime you open the line, I'm coming for you.
Livingstone living in America.
Every single airline pick up from one airport to another. There's a fee attached.
Let's move to the next subject and try to close this thing, my man. We got helicopter business.
Everything is a joke. It's costing the country. That's why 7 can get paid on time.
Good.
Because
ladies and gentlemen, we will open the line for 5 calls.
Okay, all right.
940-2871. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your time to call and make your comment. Everybody got 2 minutes. Speak now or forever hold your peace until next Sunday. 772. The number is right across the line.
Post the number there.
940-2871. Call. Mr. Livingstone, I'm waiting for you. Don't let anybody beat you to the call. Be the first caller.
Livingstone, when I share the lie that boy got leading Bonka and Maggie, that's not true. So you go on net right now, we are leading.
First of all, here's the thing before the caller coming, right, Mr. Gayman, there's the point I wanted to make before the whole aircraft bidding came about. The margin right now does not favor the Unity Party the way they claim they say they have the number. In Nimba County, George Weah is taking a percentage that you shouldn't have even get to.
That's correct.
In Monserrato, that is not favorable to incumbent, George Weah is neck to neck.
Leading,
right? Slightly.
So then in Grand Bassa County, where they have the rescue mother from, George Weah.
They've already conceded they lost Grand Bassa. They already conceded that they lost Grand Bassa.
So look, if you Mr. Gongo, help me here. You the statistician.
Don't ask for help.
I will help you. The most Bassa is no good thing. We know how to be for a president.
What the big numbers. This thing here can end up some kind of way that the Unity Party that already had 97% of the talent sheet in their possession that they already won one run. We don't know where it's still gonna go.
The Southeast is finished counting 100%.
No.
Okay.
So here's the difference. Is doing well.
Mr. Gayman, post the number. They poke up. Maybe they didn't know that we're taking calls.
The number
is doing well.
Now let me, Mr. Gay, real quick. Mr. Livingstone here saying that they are leading in Bon County. That's a false. This is a number I just came from. that just came from NEC today. Bond County, George, we are 66,358. Joseph Newman Walker, 58,265.
Can I come in? Can I come in 1 minute?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so what you're looking at is what NEC has said generally, which is good. And that's what you should look at. We're not saying don't look at that. We declared that Prince 2 won in District 8. NEC announced that. Before NEC announced it, we already announced it. We announced that Amara Mohammed Kone had won Bapolu County. Wait, I'm coming now. I'm making a point now. Let me land.
But yeah, now who won in Monserrato and who won in Magidi?
Listen,
you're announcing insignificant results. You want significant ones.
Listen, Morris. You are going to win the
yeah, you say you're going to win Basa. You don't win Basa.
You are going to win Bong.
Okay, but can I be allowed to complete?
Everything you say is not happening.
All right, but can I be allowed?
Let him complete. Let him complete. Go ahead, Mr. Kamar. Go ahead.
Okay, now tell me. Listen, you wanted to keep the seat in Lofa.
You guys are being hostile. You guys are being very hostile.
They still Zago win the Senate.
Somebody saying Princeton lost District 8. They saying Princeton lost. So that's what you say you're announcing, not true.
So let me say this, right? Let me say this.
1 minute. 1 minute, Anthony Gay. After 1 minute. They still Zago win in Lofa. The senator.
We announced that Zago did not win Lofa. We announced that.
Listen.
All right. And we're talking. Listen now. But Mr. Timothy, can you guys allow me to at least learn my thoughts? You are deliberately interrupting me.
You're being unfair to Mr. Kamara. Let him finish his point. Let Mr. Kamara finish his point.
We announced 3 days ago that Saros won Lofa County, even before the NEC announced that. We also have announced on the second day after the election, which is on Wednesday, we announced we were going to win Grand Cape Mount County. And that's what's going to happen. The point I'm trying to make to you is these things have already been tabulated. As you know, your representative was in the hall after the election. After everything was said and done, there's something called a tally sheet that was given to each and every one of them. It is simple. Okay, go ahead.
This is why the NEC told us not to do. Whatever sheet you have, if a raw number have not been sanitized.
But so everything has come through so far.
That's not true because
you gave us a number that
in fact, on Spoon
invalid votes.
yesterday, listen, on Spoon TV, your brother, old man there, and Prince Johnson said,
we're not talking about that now. We're talking about the tally sheet now.
He said nobody voted for Joe in Nima. Can you imagine?
Who said that? Who said that?
Prince Johnson. Nobody voted for.
When did Prince Johnson say that?
Yesterday on Spoon.
First of all, I am not a spokesman, and I know you know nobody can believe that. But what I am telling you is,
and that's why it's so ridiculous when propaganda like that is being spewed on Spoon.
Prince Johnson is not a technocrat. Prince Johnson is not part. Prince Johnson is not part. Oh God! Prince Johnson is not part of those. Prince Johnson is not part of those who are punching the numbers.
Why are you interrupting Mr. Gay? Mr. Gay, go
ahead. Why interrupting Mr. Gay?
Yeah, I was going to flow far before you keep it. But you guys said that, right? So,
okay.
Part of the reason why Unity Party should be concerned, not worried, but concerned, is that.
What about ANC?
Why are you distracting? We're not talking about numbers here. So here's the thing: if George Weah can go to Nima County, get 20 to 26% of the vote in Nima County, go to Lofa, get 26 to 28% of the vote in Lofa County, then in Grand Bassa that you're supposed to have won, he's winning there. Then he's neck to neck with you in Monserrato. He neck to neck with you.
You were not supposed to win Grand Bassa.
Oh, y'all clean Grand Bassa because y'all had the rescue mother from that.
Yeah, the rescue mother.
Yeah, but
you have a certain senator that is supporting you from the county.
But listen,
Prince
Johnson said they were going to win the entire Bassa belt. Now he got no belt. His pen falling down. He got no belt.
Right now.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
You overlook the Southeast.
And we'll soon find out.
You overlook the Southeast, and you think that Southeast, Nibakante can cancel Southeast. Nibakante can only cancel Southeast if you're winning Nibakante by 95% of the votes.
But why you worry so much from ANC? You don't even get 6% of the votes.
Oh God.
Even if they cancel the Southeast, where else do they get numbers from the win? Besides Nima, they got nothing.
So you're not canceling them out.
They say keep my Babuli, like keep my Babuli are so big in terms of numbers.
The difference between CDC and United Party in Babuli is 794. It's 794 between CDC and UP in Babulu. So I don't know where they're coming from with that.
794.
But ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching On Point. Even 4 o'clock on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, it is on point. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been here a while. We did something great today. We talked about our sister, Seattle Townsend. We talked about the tragedy that was averted in Liberia. And I'm glad that Mr. Padmore, everybody's trying to help here. It would have been something else to see a young, vibrant, up-and-coming aspirant, somebody who has a future plan, to have been basically partially beheaded. That's what was going to happen. Hit them on the head, they fall, and then you slash their throat. And because of the election, anybody could blame it on electoral violence, say, you know, people doing it for sacrifice, people doing it, all that stuff. So it turned out that the news trended in a positive sense. And while we were on here talking about the good news that this woman has survived, Mr. Kamara went in the back. When he came back, his uncle have already passed. So it just up and down, up and down. And we want to extend our sympathy to Mr. Kamara here. Yes, and I personally thank you for staying on, because I wouldn't have stayed on. I would have just, tuned out, call you and say I didn't do it. So I know they got family meetings, they got other stuff. So Mr. Kamara, we'll let you go first with your closing, so we can let this thing go, so you can go and take care of business.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Gayman. All about down the money issue. But look, it's been a great show. It's really been entertaining, except for the fact that at the beginning of the show, I felt, even as much we've been seeing these things on social media and been hearing about in Liberia, the girl whose throat was messed up like that by a brutal, disgusting human being, a barbarian. I don't think that guy should see the light of day for the rest of his life if it was up to me. But people say I'm too extreme. But people have to pay for their action. You know what I mean? For what he did to that girl. Seattle Thompson, I don't know her personally, but I listened to her interactions and I saw her involvement. She was involved with this political thing. She was passionate about Alice Cummings, So look, listen, I hope she rests in peace, her soul. We never die. None of us here will ever die. Our bodies will die, but our spirit, our soul lives on. Wherever her soul goes, I hope it rests in peace. Listen, we have around 20% to go. All we need is 7%. If we do the math, the 7% is on our side, even if we forget about our tally sheets and just apply common sense into this. The biggest portion of the Southeast remaining is Sino and Maryland County. River says there's nothing much left. Grand Crew, there's nothing much left. Grand G, almost all of it have already gone. River G, there's only 2 more precincts left. So we know that in Nimba County alone, we got close to, if not more than 100,000 votes up for grabs, which we believe we're going to take at least 70.
How is that possible?
Because we have 200 more precincts there, and technically it's supposed to have 500.
You got only 300 registered. You got over 200.
You don't have one.
Can I
don't say that.
Can I close? Can I close?
Out of the 300,
gentlemen, I want to close and go, please. Can I just close?
Yeah,
We have.
Calabo,
Let me
let him make close with lines and lead. Go ahead, Mr. Lion Man.
But listen, there are about 100,000 voters out there doing the math. It's 500 person per prison. So we have up to 200,000. I mean, 200 more things left out of 700.
That's if it's 100% turnout.
There you go. Out of 736, 535 have reported. We still have at least 201. You understand what I'm saying? Out of that 201, if we go by the raw number, that's 500 person per prison. So we're talking about 100,000 people at least. At least. So listen now. So what we are saying to you is, from everything we are looking at, we're going to get at least 75% of that 100,000 in Nimba County. If you put that 75,000 across from what's left of Maryland, Sino, Grand Crew, River G, and a River says, that's 75% in Nimba County will swallow it plus more. So the battle line is drawn now between us. Let me tell you where the problem is. On the show, I did predict here that if CDC did better than us in Grand Bassa County, did better than us in Bon County, and in Margibi County, clear second round. If CDC doesn't win Bon County, as we are seeing on the tally sheet, taking everything constant, which CDC cannot win Bon County from what we're saying, unless what you're saying about error and here and there, then now that's possible. But from what we are looking at, Joseph Boca is going to win Bon County by a very narrow margin. Okay, Margibi County, clearly Joseph Boca is going to win Margibi County. So from what we are looking at, we know that we're going to get more than the 7% that they are talking about. So we believe that this thing is a round thing. But I thank you so much for having me, Mr. Gayman. Mr. Akelapu, we can find time here. You can go on the scene 101. I really enjoy the way you're passionate about job. We are all of a sudden, but that's okay. ANC, look, we sympathize with you guys, even though you guys are still unhappy. But there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of the show, I told you for 18 years, the UP and the CDC. I went after both.
Hey, man, run there. Wait, can we tell you?
I'm passionate about CDC. Anytime somebody take issue to the city, to the Unity Party, you must be supporting the other side. And that's just,
you're closing. Mr. Kellerman, you're closing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah. I mean, this has been a great show. I think I'm going to try to make it a habit every Sunday. I come here, spend some time to interact with Alio. Alio is gone, but let me extend my sympathy to him for the loss of his uncle. But the thing is, guys, even though the show was not meant to predict, but I think there is a danger in the argument the Unity Party started about winning first round. They made it now possible that anyone can win first round. And I think that whole thing that between CDC and Unity Party, for me, in Africa and in West Africa for that matter, in any election, incumbents should not be overlooked. Okay? If the race is so close and tight, they always operate in favor of the incumbency. So I mean that would be my caution without saying anything, but that's all I can say to this matter, because the election is very close. It's very competitive, which is a good thing for an opposition party that has been out of power for just 6 years. Let's see how 2029 will be, if UP will be competitive like this, for them to be in opposition. If they don't win, I'm not assuming they don't win, but it's difficult for me to see in a competitive race like this how they will win, given the odds, given the incumbency factor. I mean, I will be very clear, and it's not that I support the CDC, but I'm saying things that are factually correct. Incumbency is an important factor in every election.
Of course.
It should also it has been operating in Liberia. The same way in 2011, the CDC took a very serious fight to the Unity Party, but incumbency actually put the Unity Party to the finishing line. We saw the shopping of election results and all that.
Great. Now, to Mr. Flomo here, who keeps saying that Unity Party is leading in Bond County, it's not true. I'm looking at the number here. George Manning, we are CDC 66,358. That was just 3 hours ago when the NEC made the announcement. JMB 58,265. That's what it is. So this thing about their leading, I mean, it's
no. I think Flomo is looking at their war room data. So.
Mr. Padmore, here we are. I wanted for these folks to understand when they're talking about the Southeast is totally done. That's not true. Okay, when you look at the bombing that they were talking about, bombing got almost 80% done, and it is 15,000 to 12,000 UP. This is their stronghold. Lofa County is over 100%. It is 56.16% to 27.37%. That's their stronghold. They went from 92% to 56%. That's a major chip. Then we go to Magibi. It's 17,000 to 13,000 UP. River G, they are talking about River G is almost done. Yeah, River G has 76% done. Okay. And the number, the margin is 12,000 to 5,000. You see the difference we're talking about here? And they still got 20% more to go. They are saying, based on the bad weather, and can you imagine people making, these are educated folks saying, it rains so much that more people may not have come out. Can you imagine these people are making predictions that somebody gets sick on the other side for the way? So, Grand Bassa County, that was, according to Prince Johnson, was supposed to be in their pocket because the rescue mother was supposed to deliver Grand Bassa County. Grand Bassa County has 76% already, 76% already counted. George Minor, we have 31,050. To 25,000 UP, 31,000 to 25,000. That is somebody that you say, some place you say you were winning. So I don't know where they're coming from with this. Sino County. Sino County has 11,239 CDC, 3,000 for Joseph Boycott. You see the difference in numbers. And they still got about 15 to 20% to go. Bond County, George, we have 66,350, 44.1%. Unity Party, 58,260, 38.7%. So I don't know where they are getting these numbers from. And they're right here. We say don't predict, just go by what they talk to you about and you go. Grand Jeter, CDC, 27,752 for 78.1%, 19%. UP 3,000.
3,000 for UP.
Almost 38,000 to 3,000. 28,000 to 3,000. Okay. So total number here is just unbelievable. But when these folks are talking, it is said if the Southeast Council name out, what else can they get numbers from?
Hello, Mr. Gayman. If George Weah didn't break with Prince Johnson, this election was going to be a landslide. Nima was not going for Buenca. Oh, it was going to be over a long time ago.
Yes, definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Mr. Padmore, go ahead, close out.
Absolutely. Just to speak on what others said, that would have been done.
Yeah.
So we have made the election half for itself. You should have just given it to Prince Johnson, but now the whole election finished.
It's finished.
We're not talking anything anymore, you know. But I posted on my page, I think it was yesterday, you know, and I reflected on a united opposition. Yes. This was what the Liberian poll asked for.
That's what they asked for.
And some people felt they could bully the Liberian people into presenting themselves and say, this is what you got. Take them one and leave it. And you've seen that a lot. Over 100,000 Liberians are saying we won't have anything to do with it.
Yep.
We saw the same thing, United Party, when they were incumbent. The Liberian people, more than 500,000 Liberian people did not vote 2017 because they said, we don't want United Party. And the United Party said they were going to try to shove United Party down the Liberian people and say, so you're suffering, that's what we're giving you. You will take it or you will leave it. And a large group of people are saying, no, they will leave it. And it is truly sad that a few people manipulated the process to where we are right now. But we'll continue to follow the process. We'll continue to watch the NEC numbers. It looks like between now and Tuesday, we should have enough data for NEC to be able
to give a projection, right?
Yes, we're going to make a projection. For focus, for on point to make a projection,
based on
you
the
know,
numbers.
on where it's going. And I mean, you know, people will play with the numbers here and there, you know, but the way the trend is going right now, after Lofa, after Bapolu, Monserrato, Bomi, Bong, there's no way that Joseph Boyka can get the numbers he needs to make a one-round victory. I mean, it will be something that's on top of, and we haven't seen it. So this looks like a second round victory, a second round occurrence. The United Party has made many enemies. Two, they are hard pressed for cash. You know, all the money they spend to do poll watching, they gotta spend all that money again to do poll watching. They have made
and they have insulted other people who are not
opposition because of the arrogance and the insults. I mean, you know, CPP, CDC. I don't see a bunch of opposition people running to CDC, but CDC does not need a bunch of opposition. They just need that opposition to stay away from United Party. That's all they need.
That's all they need.
Look, there are thousands and thousands of people that are associated with CDC, whether they are government workers, civil servants, appointees, all these people who are very unhappy with CDC. And a lot of them voted for United Party because they believed when United Party said we're going to do the thing landslide one-round victory.
Yes.
Most of the people now are having second thoughts. They are looking at George Weah numbers and saying, what if George Weah squeeze the thing up? I don't want to let all says yes. And look, I better stay with the show one than to go with the people that continue telling me, show me blue plastic there. Many things are going to happen in the coming days. CDC has the money and the resources to engage these small parties that you see with 0.5%, 1%, 0.25%. CDC has the resources to engage those people that Joseph Boyka does not have and to bring those people on the side. And once you bring, look, there are 19 people in the race, 19 parties, 20 individuals. Once you take 10 other people, you take 0.5% and 0.7%, and you start packing it together, you don't need a lot. You just need 50 plus 1. And I'm 19, United Party, you see, they stay on Facebook saying, I don't understand the people in a sense.
They said they already won first, Michael.
I don't understand the in a sense. You stay on, you see the team heading towards second round. You stay on Facebook saying, you will see how it goes. That's why I believe it.
I'm going to hit you with a thing. When you done Joe Yao.
And the Monserrato number just came in. Monserrato, CDC 262,633 for 47.39%. Unity Party 252,155 for 45.5%.
Wow.
So CDC is still winning.
Wow.
Even though slim number, but still winning Monserrato. Okay.
And there's the scary thing here when people can look at the different percentage, right? Monserrato County of all counties, you don't want CDC to be in this kind of league. Where the state champion vote for Lima County, the state champion vote from Bon County, the state champion vote from Grand Bassa. You don't want it to be leading Monserrato because The percentile in Mozzarella, that's huge. A CDC getting 5-6% more in Mozzarella, that's more votes you're looking at. So, sometimes I don't know how these guys when they're targeting election, whether they really consider numbers in certain area. So when we say things like that, they say, "Oh, because your party ain't going nowhere, so you're mad, you angry." Well,
let me close quickly, Anthony.
Why was you sleep?
Thank you.
So because we lost, so we can't talk in the election.
Look, these elections are clearly going to the second round. For me, you know, I'm not going to make any projection like Unity Party will lose or CDC will win. They're going to the second round, and rightfully so. It becomes a 2-horse race, and now the Liberian people can pick, you know, those who were liking Boycott but they didn't get a chance to win because they like somebody more. They can vote for Boycott now. Those who were liking Weah but went with somebody more, somebody else because they like that person more, they will have the chance to go now. And that way, it will be a referendum on the entire country. So if Boycott wins, it shows you that a slight majority of the country prefers him. If Weah wins, same thing. Let it go to second round. All these little small candidates are out of the race. Now you have the two big, dogs in the race, and the people will vote who they want. For me, I feel like regardless of who wins, not a lot is going to change in Liberia. President Weah hasn't performed up to the task that we wish he would have. Or Boycott, his people specifically are being so desperate. The desperation in that camp is so obvious and so vivid for everybody to see it. So for me, these elections, I've kind of sober on it actually because I realized that it's going to be more of the same. Boycott style leadership is almost similar to that of Weah because they got to push the old man to go out there and talk. He's low energy. He really doesn't want to be standing on the podium for 30, 40 minutes giving a speech. Doesn't want to be doing a lot of communication. Even in the opposition, he didn't do too much communication, let alone when he becomes president. After, the stress of the office have taken a couple of years toll on him, he's going to be even in a more fragile state. So is Weah the best choice of all the candidates? For me, I'll say no. But is he a better choice than Boycott? As it stands right now, I would say slightly yes. So let's see how it plays out. And I think the Liberian people are sharing similar sentiments by the votes after looking at it. So great show. Let's leave it there and maybe we can come back next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday, and then we can know what's going to happen with these elections. Thank you for having me on, Mr. Gayman.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Mr. Gonglu, thank you for taking your time. Mr. Padmore, under these circumstances, you were here. Mr. Gay, thank you very much for being loyal. You've always been here. Mr. Morris, same thing here. To our folks in Liberia, we say kudos to you. And for some reason, if what Mr. Gonglo is saying here, that there are still killings going on in Lofa, there's something about that culture that we have to address.
Mr. Gayman, don't go there. Don't go there.
No, but listen, we gotta do this. How do you kill somebody because they disagree with you? How? But anyhow, the folks have spoken. Unity Party, like the man said on Voice of Lofa, Unity Party had lost their stronghold on Lofa. Legislatively, they had no seats. None. Both senatorial positions gone. Tifa took number 1, another guy took number 2, another guy took number 3. There is nothing left. I think they have maybe one legislator in Lofa from the Unity Party. Terrible. So we are saying to the Liberians, for those of you who weathered the storm, people were trying to intimidate you by killing people right in front of you so you'd be scared not to come out. The force came out. And for God's sake, of all the day that it rained on that particular day, Mr. Padmo, the sun shine.
The sun shine. The sun shine.
Came out in the numbers. So God, even God has his hand in this one.
But Mr. Gayman, if you are going to rain on that day, maybe comments are going to get 0% because if people don't like to go in the rain, put it gets sick.
Come on, they're not that hell. I mean, they're not that bourgeois now.
You know what?
No, what if I in the second round? What if I in the second round?
All you have to say, there have never been anything about threat, about violence, on the side of the CPP, they can claim the higher ground. Like Michael Matthew to say, it's all about the orientation. These people are in a different class. Whether you like it or not, you got to give it to them. They won't fight you. They will argue with you. They will do everything. But when it comes to all that mad cussing and I will kill you, it never happened on their end. So you have to give it to them. As much as we berate them, we talk down to them, they have never, my own friend, Mona Faha, my own Basa woman, we all here arguing now one way she disrespect me or I would disrespect her. That's how it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for tuning in. Let's keep the peace. Call your relative. Tell them it's okay. If Joseph Walker win, that's fine. George Weah is known for conceding. He conceded twice before. So
yeah.
Just call me after the show. I think you have.
Okay.
We spoke about your during your passport thing that time. Call me.
Next year,
okay, Mr. Longo.
Next week, Sunday, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. As usual, we send our song. Let me look for our song. I say we are all Liberian. Just in case you don't remember, but it says we are all Liberian. Let me go to our closing song. That's right. Thank you, guys. God bless.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our